It is now time for member statements. And I recognize the member from Whitby.
Thank you, Speaker. One of Whitby's fastest growing areas will soon be getting enhanced fire service after I and the Solicitor General of Ontario, the Honourable Michael Kersner, as well as town officials broke ground on a new fire station in West Whitby, scheduled to be opened on 2027. The new fire hall, Speaker, will create 20 new firefighter positions and is expected to generate several construction-related jobs. With West Whitby's rapid growth, it's vital that community safety initiatives keep pace. That's why I was proud to advocate on behalf of the town of Whitby to secure this critical parcel of land for the new fire hall from the Ministry of Transportation. Thank you, Minister Sakaria and Ministry officials, for your leadership and commitment towards hardworking families in Whitby. Speaker, the new West Whitby Fire Hall will not only enhance emergency response, it will strengthen community safety for years to come. This is yet another example of what is accomplished when the Ontario government and towns and cities collaborate to accomplish a shared goal. Thank you, Speaker.
I recognize the member from University Rosedale.
Thank you, Speaker. My member's statement is about an individual called Margaret Gaultier. She is 70 years old, a Toronto renter, and she lives alone. Margaret was referred to the remote monitoring program a year and a half ago. That means she has a button she can press if she falls or needs help, so a healthcare professional can quickly come to her. Now, Margaret said to us, "I always take it to the shower with me because I've had a few close calls. It's scary." Now, in September, Margaret took a fall and the remote alert button was on the table next to her chair. She had sciatica in her right leg, so she couldn't get back up. And when she pressed the button, she kept getting a no connection message. That's how Margaret found out that she was one of 18,000 people who have been cut from the remote monitoring program. Cut off because of funding to the program, which was operated by the Toronto Grace Hospital, has been cut by a third by the Ministry of Health. Now Margaret pays $30 a month for this for-profit service and her device is malfunctioning. Margaret wants to live safely in her home. She doesn't want to go to a hospital. She doesn't want to go to a long-term care home because both are far more expensive options for her and for our healthcare system. But Margaret needs support to stay. I wrote to the Minister last week calling on her to return funding to the remote monitoring program so seniors can live at home and stay safe for as long as possible. I am waiting for a response, and 18,000 seniors are waiting for a response as well. Thank you.
I recognize the member from Don Valley North.
Well, thank you, Speaker. Speaker, along with my colleague, the member for Scarborough-Agincourt, I rise today to honour the 40th anniversary of the priestly ordination of Archpriest Reverend Father Datev Mikelian of St. Mary Armenian Apostolic Church in Don Valley North. Father Datev began his vocation in Aleppo, Syria, where he entered the priesthood with a heartfelt prayer from the Psalms. "In you, O Lord, I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed." Those words have guided him through a lifetime of ministry. Due to the Armenian genocide, a priest of the Armenian tradition is not only a spiritual leader, but also a guardian of Armenian identity, history, language, and culture wherever communities have rebuilt their lives around the world. Father Datev has embraced that responsibility with both honor and devotion. Over the years, Father Datev has become a pillar of spiritual strength for Armenian Canadians. His ministry has been shaped by the message he chose for his very first sermon: "For where your treasure is, there your heart will also be." That message reflects how he has lived and how he has served. Shunor havor der Datev, ser natutrian, karasunerort, amyagi aritov. Speaker, 40 years of priestly service represents dedication of the highest order. I ask all members of this House to join me in recognizing Archpriest Reverend Father Datev Mikelian for his unwavering commitment to his called vocation, his community.
I recognize the member from Haliburton, Kawartha Lakes Brock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to share wonderful news in Haliburton, Kawartha Lakes Brock. How together with local healthcare partners and the Ministry of Health, we are welcoming new primary care health professionals and health professionals to our hospitals. Haliburton Highlands Health Service welcomed 8 new doctors, 3 of them emergency physicians, 28 new nursing staff, as well as 30 other support staff. This fall, the Haliburton Highlands Health recruiters were able to recruit 2 new family physicians and a nurse practitioner to their teams. I want to thank the recruiters up in Haliburton for the great job they've done. And also, this past summer with the Kawartha Lakes Haliburton Ontario Health Team, I had the pleasure of announcing under the first phase of our intake $3.49 million of funding to connect nearly 7,000 more people to primary care. These expanded interprofessional primary health teams in Coboconk, Woodville and Minden are up and going and have already attached close to 1,000 new patients. Under the North Kawartha Family Health Team, I want to extend a warm welcome to 2 new doctors that we will be practicing in communities of Bobcaygeon and Fenelon Falls this year. Thank you to the Kawartha Lakes Healthcare Initiatives and Recruitments for attracting our healthcare professionals, and we welcome any new doctors and nurses to come to Haliburton.
Member statements. I recognize the member for Thunder Bay Superior North.
Thank you, Speaker. The world of work has changed significantly, but Ontario's workers' compensation law has not kept up with the changing times. When the age of 65 cutoff for wage loss compensation was first introduced, most people were expected to retire by that age, but this is no longer the case. Today, more Ontarians than ever are working past age 65, including quite a few, I might add, in this legislature. Yet, if these workers are injured on the job, the law assumes their working life is already over. This assumption is not just outdated, it's unfair. It punishes older workers for their age and ignores the reality that many continue to fully contribute to the economy well beyond age 65. Other provinces, including Alberta and BC, allow injured workers to continue to receive crucial benefits beyond age 65. There are options that Ontario can and must look to for guidance, because it's time to bring the Workers' Safety Insurance Act into line with today's realities. Ending the age 65 cutoff isn't just an urgently needed law reform. It's a matter of fairness, dignity, justice, and respect for every worker in this province. Thank you, miigwech.
Member statements. I recognize the member for Mississauga, Erin Mills.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Peel Police has announced a huge accomplishment this year. In 2025, Peel Police accomplished Project 300. Their goal to recruiting 300 new police officers to Peel Region Police. They are well-trained officers entering the workforce as frontline officers to serve and protect the community. Speaker, our government is supporting law enforcement recruitment by continuing to invest in our police and police training. In September, we announced that we are opening a new police college in Cornwall. This will allow an additional 121 recruits. Additionally, we have eliminated the tuition fees for the basic constable training program, eliminating hurdles for people wanting to become police officers. Speaker, by extending the number of police officers, we are cracking down on crime and ensuring that our communities are safe. Last week, Peel Police also began their annual Ride campaign in partnership with Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Reduce Impaired Driving Everywhere. This campaign focuses on the importance of safe driving, including never driving impaired by alcohol. Our government is taking a strong, principled stance against drunk drivers. Thank you, the Peel Police, and for all their hard work keeping us safe and keeping on and off the road.
The member for Nickel Belt.
Thank you, Speaker. So many parts of our healthcare systems are in crisis. 2.5 million people without access to a family physician, a broken home care system, a mental health and addiction system overwhelmed. When parts of our healthcare system fails, people rely on our hospital for their healthcare needs. Did you know, Speaker, that hospitals are not allowed to have a deficit budget, yet 72% of hospitals in Northern Ontario are facing a deficit? The OHA says just to maintain what we have in our hospital, they need a 4% budget increase, but the Ford government gives them 0.7% increase. Hospitals have no choice. They have to cut costs, which means cutting services and laying off staff. North Bay Regional Health Centre has issued layoff notice to 40 frontline healthcare workers. 13 RN, 3 RPN, 1 occupational therapist, the list goes on. A brand new billion-dollar hospital in the north is laying off staff. Let that sink in. The member from Sudbury and I went to North Bay on November 12th to hear from the hospital worker. The member from Sudbury even wore his yellow tie in case we saw the member from North Bay, but he didn't show up. Whatever. What we heard was devastating. Knowledgeable, caring frontline hospital worker being laid off, and they are worried about what will happen to their patients who need them, who depend on them. I'm worried too. We know how to fix our broken healthcare system, and privatization is not the solution.
I recognize the member for Thornhill.
Speaker, the cooperative housing, they actually play a positive and pivotal role in my riding of Thornhill. Thornhill is home to Crown Heights Cooperative, William Lyon Mackenzie Housing Cooperative, Thornhill Green and Emon Park Housing Cooperative, and I'm proud to say that I've truly enjoyed spending time with these great communities and the people who live there. So Crown Heights is a vibrant place, just celebrated their 40th anniversary, and Emon Park was actually the runner-up for Best Vegetable Garden Award by the Cooperative Housing Federation. I've been to many of the street festivals and parties hosted by Crown Heights and Emon Park. It is clear that they are a vibrant and close-knit community that takes pride in what they do. Today, we are privileged to have the opportunity to learn more about cooperative housing and how we can support them. The Cooperative Housing Federation of Canada, which represents 550 not-for-profit housing co-ops in Ontario, is here at Queen's Park for their reception day, and members will have the opportunity to hear more from their leadership and development industry partners. Their support and representation of co-op housing in Thornhill and throughout Ontario plays an essential role in the overall success of these properties. As well, you can learn more about several proposed and newly developed housing co-ops from all across Ontario that represent $1.14 billion in economic activity. I encourage all members to attend and learn more about how we can support the co-op housings.
Member statements. I recognize the member for Kitchener South Hespeler.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, this year the 16 Days of Activism will also include the publication of the report on intimate partner violence and sexual violence in Ontario, which is an 18-month effort built from the voices, the experience, the expertise, and the lived experience of survivors, frontline workers, educators, advocates, healthcare professionals, justice sector partners, researchers, and community organizations across the province. I want to express my gratitude to every single person who came forward to testify, who shared their expertise, and who trusted us with their experiences. This report sits on decades of work done by those who came before, long before this ever had a name at Queen's Park, and I'm so grateful for the work that they've done and continue to do every day. I also want to recognize Dr. Jennifer Kagan and Sonia Robinson, whose work with Kira's Law has continued to put a huge focus on intimate partner violence, and especially making sure the public stays aware of how provincial and federal governments are responding to it. I also want to thank a few specific people from behind the scenes. My assistant, Benita Dua, who handled all of the constant scheduling and coordination that went into this. My close friend and project manager, Stephanie Filikas, who I don't know why she puts up with me, but she does. And finally, over at the Government House Leader's Office, 3 remarkable women, Beth Wenzel, Rav Gill, and Kalina Lee. Without your guidance, this would have been so much harder. So thank you all so much for everything that you've done.
Introduction of visitors. Oh, we have another member statement. I apologize. I recognize the member for Guelph.
Thank you, Speaker. It's an honor to rise today on the International Day for the Elimination of Gender-Based Violence, commit to working across gender identities and party lines to stand up against gender-based violence. Wrapped in Courage Day is a time to honor the courage and resilience of survivors, to remember and honor the women killed by femicide, and to thank staff and frontline workers at women's shelters. Also to welcome and thank the Ontario Association of Interval and Transition Houses for the vital work you do to support women and children to escape violence. I especially want to thank Guelph Wellington Women in Crisis for the essential work that you do in my riding. Last year alone, 1,286 clients served, 2,551 crisis line calls, 460 clients supported through their transitional and housing support programs, and 107 clients supported in the Sexual Assault Center with trauma counseling. I want to close by calling on all of us who identify as men to take responsibility for violence against women and children. We have an obligation as men to call it out, and as legislators to take action to end gender-based violence. Thank you, Speaker.